Hi, I'm Rob from HopZine.com. Thanks for joining me live on YouTube and Google Plus for another video beer review. I'm joined by my very special guest, Adam from Adam's Craft Beer Channel. How are you doing, mate?
I'm good. How are you, Rob?
Very good, very good. So the beer that we're going to be looking at today is Sierra Nevada's Torpedo Extra IPA. How strong is it? I can't see on the can.
7.2.
7.2. I forget it's that strong.
Yeah, but it doesn't. Well, we've both had this beer before, but I've not had it in quite a long time. When was the last time you had it, Rob? Do you remember?
Yes, actually, it was whilst I was up in Aberdeen when I was up at Brewdog. Not that I'm dropping names or anything like that, but yeah, the night I got up there, I raced straight to this bar and had this on draft, and I thought, well, I can't not have Torpedo on draft, and I tweeted Stone Cold Steve Austin because I know this is Stone Cold's favourite beer, hoping I'd get a retweet or a reply, but he let me down.
Oh, no.
Come on, Steve. Sip a torpedo for the working man. Come on. Anyway.
That was quite a recent trip, though, so you've had it a lot more recent than I have.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's a lovely beer. It's a lovely beer. So I've got a can.
Bottle, yeah.
Yeah, you've got a bottle.
I think Rob's I mean, you know that me and Rob are probably big advocates of the new canning thing going on, and obviously I think Sierra Nevada have only recently done this with some of their cans. Is that right?
It might be about a year. I think there might have been a year and a half, maybe something like that in the cans. I think we didn't see them as soon as they came out. I think they were out in America quite a while before we kind of saw them over in the UK. The pale ale comes in the small cans. Interestingly enough, the stronger beer comes in. What size is this? So is it a 5?
That's a 1 pint. Yeah, I mean I've only got a 330ml bottle, but I have had the Sierra Nevada Pale Ale in a can, and that wasn't actually as fresh as the bottle. But then again, the bottling dates, canning dates might have been quite different. So who knows? Shall we get this one cracked open, Rob?
Absolutely. Mine's quite lively.
See, me and Rob were just saying we're not too sure when my bottle was bottled, but I've just smelt it, and well, it doesn't smell old, put it that way.
Yeah, so my can was supposedly canned on the 28th of February 2014. It is currently the 2nd of October, so I mean it's it's 8 months old. It's a pretty old can.
Yeah, it's pretty old, but the can might do it justice. Who knows?
Exactly. Is this the test of the can? If it is the superior packaging kind of method. So,
well, so far, I'm just holding that up to the light. It's a real nice sort of. It's a hazy amber colour, but it's quite deep amber, isn't it?
Yeah. It's kind of like that. Slightly reddish, kind of orange, kind of sun. Like a sun.
Sienna almost.
The head for me is really tight, packed. Kind of marshmallow, kind of whipped up egg whites kind of head.
Definitely. Same on the top there.
So shall we check out the aroma?
Let's do it.
Oh, lovely.
And do you know, Sierra Nevada for me, I mean, obviously, you drink Sierra Nevada beer, you expect it to be very well balanced, and the aroma, even just from the aroma, you can just smell that it's so well balanced.
Yeah, it's such a lovely, sweet hop aroma. I mean, Sierra Nevada use whole cone hops, opposed to majority of American breweries, especially kind of West Coast breweries, definitely kind of going towards the pelletized hops, opposed to whole cone. I'm sure that's playing a role in it, making it a bit more sweet and floral, opposed to kind of that kind of like a slightly abrasive, kind of slight acidity you get from kind of pellet hops.
It's quite mellow. The sweetness that you get is definitely from the bready malt, but I am getting a touch of honey in there as well.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's a nice, soft, mellow aroma. You know, like the hops don't absolutely smack you in the face. That's what I mean by being so well balanced.
For me, the hops are very much more on the kind of sweeter side of things. Definitely like apricot, peach. Yeah.
There's a bit of a dandelion thing going on in there as well, sort of like a big floral sort of note.
Absolutely, very floral, quite a sweet, fruity floral aroma for me. It's not kind of like, it's not that piney. It's not kind of assertive grapefruit. It's not all those type of things. Quite synonymous with West Coast IPA. It's very approachable, very inviting, I'd say.
So just before we do take a sip, is this a West Coast or is this an East Coast? Because the Pale Ale is more of an East Coast style, is that right?
No.
No?
That is archetypal. That's where it all began. I mean, if we didn't have Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, I mean, that entire style of kind of IPA doesn't exist. I mean, this is kind of like quite old school West Coast, but as I was saying, I think it's because the kind of using the whole term hops, it doesn't seem quite as kind of as West Coast as something like Stone, who are all about that big aggressive pellet hop character. This is a bit softer, like you get from whole cone hops.
Yeah, and I think like nowadays, obviously with the whole West Coast style being so upfront and massive in your face with the whole hop thing, when you find a well-balanced beer like this, it's sometimes hard to distinguish whether it is West Coast or not. But
I mean, it has that more sweetness that you do get from East Coast and beers from kind of like maybe like Bell's in more kind of like Midwest place like that. I mean, there is often a bit more malt sweetness, and I even went to the bother of checking out what the ingredients were. That's the great thing about Sierra Nevada. They do give you a good amount of details.
Yeah, true.
Give you those details while we're tasting. I can't wait to get stuck in.
Let's do it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
But then when you taste it, it does become a lot more kind of aggressive. I mean, there is quite a assertive bitterness for me.
There is definitely, yeah, and I guess it's not piney on the nose, but you do get an initial sort of pininess along with that floral sort of thing, but it really does mellow out quite suddenly, doesn't it?
Yeah, kind of resinous, quite a sugary kind of malt body to it, I'd say. Maybe it's like kind of, maybe like burnt brown sugar, maybe not quite full on burnt, definitely brown sugar.
Yeah, a touch of maybe a marmalade note in there as well.
Without a doubt, absolutely. I mean, it does have that kind of marmalade on, as Terry Kay says, I mean, marmalade on burnt bread. It's definitely it's edging towards that kind of territory.
It's kind of like I don't know whether you're getting it. And again, it's not the same sort of reference that we would give to an old hopped beer or hops that have died out, but there is sort of like a tea leaf sort of thing maybe going on.
Black tea, absolutely.
A herbalish kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm completely with you on that. And a lot of people do say that about certain IPAs. Yeah, black tea. I'm not a tea drinker, so I don't often kind of get that kind of thing. But you mean definitely that black tea thing going on.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
This is malt bill's really simple, just 2-row and caramel, so really basic. I mean, it's hopped with for bittering, it's just Magnum, and then the finishing hops are Magnum and Crystal. I'm definitely getting a load of Crystal malt in the hop flavour, and then the big one being Citra. I mean, and this was one of the first beers to, I think, commercially use Citra, from what I remember anyway, when Citra came on scene, maybe about 4 years ago or something.
So it's fairly new, to be fair, isn't it? But, I mean, Sierra Nevada, again, the taste of it, although it's such a simple sort of malt bill, as you say, and they've only used a small amount of, they've just used Citra hops. Is that what you just said?
No. So
they've used...
There's finishing hops, Magnum, Crystal, and Citra.
Ah, right. Okay. I mean, like you said, it's just so simple, but it tastes so high in quality, and that's what gets me about Sierra Nevada beers, and the consistency and the mouthfeel is always just so spot on as well.
Absolutely. Bags of hop flavour, and that's the thing I personally go for in IPA. I'd prefer a lot more hop flavour opposed to just crushing bitterness. This has a well-managed bitterness, but just a silly amount of hop flavour. And if I didn't realise, I remember my mate brewing quite a few of his homebrews with Crystal. It's definitely got a lot of that Crystal, and I think that's what's contributing that kind of marmalade thing. Yeah,
definitely. And again, I mean, I've had this a few times before. It's been a long time since I've had it, but again, coming back to an old favourite as such, it just never seems to disappoint. So I mean, there is a reason why this is now on supermarket shelves.
Yeah, and that's an incredible thing. I mean, I think, is it Waitrose who carry Torpedo?
Yep, certainly is. You can now get this from Waitrose, along with, I think you've been able to get the Pale Ale for quite a long time now. But I mean, seeing Torpedo on the shelves of Waitrose, I mean, that's a big thing coming for England,
It's not bad at all. But so I kind of, I guess in my kind of my experience as a kind of hardened beer geek, I'd kind of completely thought, oh yeah, I know what a torpedo, I know what the torpedo is, and to do with the hopping kind of regime. And what it is, I read up on it on their website, and what it is, I just presumed it was like a hop cannon, like Brewdog do. It's a device to get hops into the centre of the beer, but it's more to do with kind of recirculation. So apparently, it's a cylinder of hops which they recirculate the beer through.
Oh, right, okay. That's pretty cool, actually. I would have never known that.
Well, they say it's something to do with that. Even when they were just doing traditional dry hopping, and there'd be certain parts of the beer that just didn't seem to get that kind of that late hop character that they were searching for with this beer. So instead, it's essentially just being forced through this filter of hops just to shred out all that kind of hop aroma and flavour without taking on additional bitterness. I mean, there is bitterness in this, but I think it's really well positioned. I don't think it's too aggressive at all.
I fully agree. I don't think the bitterness is overly aggressive whatsoever. In fact, I did drink a beer the other day that I won't name the name of, but it was literally just bitterness. It said grapefruit flavour on the label, but all I got was grapefruit bitterness. There was no flavour there. And obviously, Sierra Nevada brewing on such a big scale now, they can afford to use that sort of torpedo technique as such and bring out a beer in such quality, and then you do get the flavour as well. So I guess that's one thing that the microbreweries maybe are missing out on.
Absolutely. I think you nailed it. I mean, and I think we're very excited about everything that's going on in the UK craft beer scene. But there's sometimes, it's apples and oranges, really. I mean, Sierra Nevada, humongous, kind of big business, have the luxury of certain techniques and have the luxury of being able to brew beers in a certain way. Smaller breweries don't really have that kind of luxury, but I completely agree. I mean, people aim for kind of IPA. You get a certain thing, and it lacks a certain intrinsic quality that I think you get from breweries like Sierra Nevada and Stone. I mean, Stone really kind of like go for it with the kind of like big hop bitterness and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's always got its place. It always feels like it should be there. It's not just done for the sake of it. And yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I think some beers would say kind of one thing, and it lacks a lot of the personality that you get from a beer of this quality.
True.
Anyway, so that is a can of and a bottle of Sierra Nevada's Torpedo Extra IPA. Stone Cold Steve Austin's favourite beer. Come on, Stone Cold, check out.
Of course, tweet him back.
Stone Cold. You're gonna get a tweet of this link later. Please do. Let me know, Stone Cold. Anyway, big thanks to Adam from Adam's Craft Beer channel for joining me for this video. Adam, give people out there your details, how they can find you on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, most importantly.
Well, just like any other beer tuber, I'm obviously on YouTube. I don't do blogs like Rob in terms of writing or anything like that, but I do YouTube beer reviews. I try to go to beer breweries and do videos there, that sort of thing. I try to do the odd sort of thing that other beer reviewers don't. I'm sure Rob will be very, very kind to put the link to my channel in the description below.
Absolutely.
And that's where you can find me and many of the beer reviews.
So thanks for joining me. Sierra Nevada Torpedo. I think I'm going to bring the rest out of the camp. What about you? Anyway, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.